Hi, it's Kim Spagnoli with Coastal Premier Properties, and I thought I would carve out a little bit of time today to talk about the Tax Cut and Jobs Act bill that passed at the end of 2017. There's a lot of confusion and some anxiety relative to that, particularly as it relates to real estate, because there was a lot in that bill that affected real estate. Some positive things, though, did come out, and we feel really elated to know, and a success in our corner is that the interest mortgage deduction was in fact retained. The change to that was that it was limited to 750 in terms of what could be written off. It used to be that you could write off up to $1 million, and I don't know that that's something that's very well known. That there actually was a cap. It wasn't just ever ending on the loan amount that you could write off interest. It was capped at $1 million. Now it's $750,000. The other thing to keep in mind is that this is grandfathered in. So if you had a loan amount between 750 and up to $1 million, that's not going to impact you. You are still able to write that entire interest off. This is only for new loans moving forward after December 14th of 2017. So new loans moving forward from that date on. So the other important factor to keep in mind is that also it was retained for second homes, which was a concern. So for your primary home as well as a secondary home, you're able to write off the interest mortgage deduction up to $750,000, and that's all good news. The other thing that I wanted to just dial down a little bit more about is how does this really impact the loan amount and a buyer looking to buy a home in today's market. There's a small segment of home prices that this will kind of come into play, and that's on a $900,000 home up to a $1.250 million home. Because when you look at those numbers, that's the home purchase. If you're putting 20% down on that home, on a $900,000 home, for example, 20% down is $720,000. So you're well under the $750,000, or you've got a little bit of wiggle room there. So that's really what you want to consider, depending on the type of loan program that works for you. Those are the purchase prices that you'll want to be aware of for a buyer. So again, it won't necessarily impact everybody, but we do see that particular price segment being the most impacted based on this loan adjustment and deduction that was reduced to $750,000. Again, there's a lot to digest, a lot to absorb that did affect real estate. Here's a resource. I'm happy to help. Feel free to reach out to me